Call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. And you too, John. Can we have roll call, please?
Yeah. Lois Tyler,
Present.
Diane Dennis,
Here.
Christine Newman,
Here.
Richard Horner,
Here.
Michael Nesbitt,
Present.
Kathy Harris,
Here.
and Sarah Tiley is absent.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Your motion to approve the agenda is presented.
So moved.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? And our famous Mr. Spicer.
No, announcements and public comment.
Oh. Sorry, John, you gotta wait a minute. Are there any public announcements or comments?
Comments.
Step right up front.
I just have a question. And who pulled all the perennials out from under the sign of town?
I forget. Who pulled what?
All the perennials, flowers,
Oh,
out from under the sign uptown. That was for October Festival or whatever it was called.
It was the hometown day
Yes,
ladies, yes.
and they pulled them out,
Correct,
all the perennials?
correct.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
no other comments? No, we'll let Mr., nothing else?
Were they told to do this by the council?
They were not? No.
They just did it themselves? Okay.
John?
Okay. Good evening. You have a copy of my report, I believe. First off, as we were saying before the meeting, I'd like to introduce Mitch Jackman. Mitch is a junior project manager who's working with me on several projects. You're gonna be seeing him a little bit more around St. Charles. He's working with us on the water project and the asset management. He currently works with both myself and Don Scherzer, and he's coming up through the ranks, and hopefully in 5-10 years, when I can retire, we have somebody else who can come in and fill in. So, this is Mitch, so.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Couple of highlights in our report, the drinking water asset management plan. We do have a list of addresses to start going and looking at and getting those ready to bid out the hydro excavation. We have 174 locations that we need to catalog and then put the bid package together and get the hydrovac services bid out. So we'll be seeing that in the next couple weeks. You will be seeing probably Neil in town, as well as Kayla, who's from our office also, and probably Mitch also. And they'll be going through and looking at each of those 174 addresses, taking a picture where the curb stop is, kind of getting some information on whether or not that water shutoff is in a greenbelt area, or if it's in the middle of a driveway or something like that. We will just scratch that one off the list and move to the next one on the list. Again, that list that we put together is a randomized list of all the water services in town, and we needed to do 174 locations to meet Eagle's requirements for the minimum number of water services to inventory.
Now, what are we gonna do with them? We're gonna check and see if they're,
The bid package that we're putting together for the contractors is gonna include a picture of each location, a little drawing showing where the curb stop is, and what the hydro excavators need to do. They need to excavate 18 inches on either side of that water shutoff. And we need to catalog and inventory the material, the diameter of the water service, those kinds of things.
Okay, and after they dig it all up and make a hole,
Yep,
they're gonna fill it back in,
yep,
plant grass?
we absolutely plan on doing that.
Okay, cause somebody's gonna ask.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, that is the intention to, I mean, the hydro excavation, the hole should be about 18 inches
okay,
versus having a backhoe out there digging in a big
Yes.
hole. We can just, basically use a giant vacuum and suck the dirt out. And so it'll only be a hole about that big, and the intent would be to come back through and topsoil and seed all those locations.
okay.
Yep. So you will be seeing some Spicer crews walking around town in the next couple weeks, and that's what they're doing.
Are most of them on that side?
And they are all over,
Okay,
they are all over town. Yeah.
You're gonna get dug.
Water system phase one, we had a really nice walk with the DPW guys, about a week and a half ago. I think we tired Tito out. But we did get a lot of good information. We did find some changes that we wanna make on the project. You should have a work directive change in front of you. Some of the changes that Don and the DPW we talked about are, we want to try to eliminate 2 blocks of Bell Avenue between the alleyways where it turns, where the highway turns. We wanna try to get the water main out from underneath that intersection there. And we think we found a way we can do that. So we'd abandon the old main in place, and then we could reroute the main around some different areas. We need to check that out on the computer model and make sure that it's viable. But if we can get the water main and the utilities out from that area, the guys won't have to ever worry about it again. You won't ever have to dig in that probably, the busiest intersection in town. So, another area we wanna change is the west alley between Bell and Clinton, right by the gas station. There's a water main that goes right down that alley by the gas station. And when we were walking that area is awful tight. There's a gas station there with the potential for contaminated soils. All of the businesses there are fed off the back alley. So as we were looking at that, we thought, well, why don't we put the new main on Charles Street and then just run a long service to service those alleys off the back alley, then we don't have to even dig anywhere near that gas station.
so you'd keep the pipes in the ground the way they are?
We would, we'd actually abandon them in place,
Okay,
disconnect them at the ends, and then leave that pipe in place, and then service those buildings off of Charles Street. And put a water main across the parking lot. that's
okay,
there.
down the middle of the parking lot?
Probably on the edge, but
Okay.
it could be the middle if you want to do some
Okay,
paving,
no,
but that's
no, I
gonna
was
be more
just wondering,
expensive.
yeah, I was just wondering, so it's in back of the library?
We were thinking on it'd be between the library and the parking lot.
Most likely where the drive enters off
Yep.
Charles there, somewhere there.
Well, we ran into problems, I think you were here, when we did the other alley on the other side.
Yep.
I know you were, I think you were around.
Just too much congestion.
It's not a good place to dig.
No,
There's a sanitary sewer that runs through
Yep.
there too, so.
yeah, and there's a whole bunch of congestion in that alley, and with the gas station, there's a whole lot of potential for problems. And as we were walking it with the crew, we looked at it, went, and all of us kinda all at once went, well, why don't we just put the main over there?
Yeah, gotcha.
So, so those are some changes that we would like to do as a part of the project.
I don't know, yeah.
In addition to that, again, we wanna double check these changes on the computer model, make sure that the flows and the pressures are adequate. Make sure the connectivity of the system is still good. Being that we've made several changes on the project, we wanna take a more detailed and a better look at the preliminary estimate of cost, make sure we're still on track with what we're doing with these changes, make sure we're still within what the village would like to do as a part of the project.
Are all these little diamonds hydrants?
Yes,
Okay,
yep. You have a
it's
copy,
down
you have a
It's down.
smaller copy
Down.
of this map?
in the bottom. Oh, are you kidding me? Look at this, look at this.
This isn't much better, but it's a little better.
Oh, sure, okay.
You read that one.
Yes, you can read this. Okay. So there'd be nothing on Main Street to mess with for water? Not Main Street. There'd be nothing on, South Bell,
South Bell,
East
West
Bell.
Bell?
East Bell, West Bell,
Well,
It's
there-
west.
there
South
was-
Saginaw
There'd be
Street.
two-
South
two
Saginaw
blocks.
Street, how's that? There's nothing on South Saginaw Street.
Saginaw Street, we would be abandoning
Yeah,
also, and then the 2 blocks of Bell between the 2 alleys.
okay,
So we'd be getting everything out of that congested intersection.
Yeah, we're trying to get everything out from underneath the state highway and the lights. and-
Yep.
gotcha.
And I think, Chris, for the, if we do a future river crossing, we talked about going like where the parking lot is by Bears. So we still in the future would have to mess with anything
Okay,
under the bridge or the light.
and the other one we've crossed. We crossed the other river already,
Yeah,
under.
it's a
Yeah.
newer crossing.
Yep. But in the future, the phase 2 calls for another river crossing
Anybody else know that this-
on the west side of the bridge.
Like straight down Pine Street, Chris, and straight across.
Okay,
Sorry.
Is it okay? Thank you.
Another thing that Don and I have kind of talked about toying around with, it's been a while since we've talked about the asset management plans we put together. We have a couple of new council members. Would you like us to prepare a 5-10 minute presentation over the next few months to talk about, the water system, the sewer system, the storm system, the streets? Would that be something, just a check on where we are at with the asset
They'd like to
management
know.
plans, and would that be something that the council would be interested in?
We can do that, yeah.
Good idea?
Kathy, would you like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what we'll plan on then is for next month, we're talking about water here, so why don't we talk about the water system next month? We can talk about the reliability study we did, some of the findings that we came, and, just kinda, I don't wanna be too long, I just want it to be 5-10 minutes, answer some questions, and then the next month, maybe we'll do sanitary sewer, wastewater.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we'll plan on that. Any other questions?
I just have one, hon.
Yes,
What is this, Elite Lake Street, Clinton?
yeah, Lake Street originally was not in the project, and then we had a prior change order to add Lake Street in.
Okay.
As we were walking it this time, we wanna eliminate it. It's unnecessary and it's just gonna add cost, so we thought better about it, and we just wanna eliminate that street. There's no water main there right now.
Well, there is a main, but we would just do a new crossing.
Right.
And that, hook up, but not any actual work that way.
Yeah. We gathered the survey topography to do that, we started the design, and now we're just gonna eliminate it from the project, so.
There's hardly any houses off of Lake Street, they're all on corners.
No,
Right.
There's,
There's the little one,
yeah, and there's,
Behind Yellow Hewlin House.
oh, there's the white one, and then there's, Fulton's and, okay, never mind.
Yeah, and I think some of that, it was unclear what was there, cause some of that may not have been, had good maps of the area, so.
Really? That little house is old.
And I do have to say, your DPW is a wealth of information.
Aren't they though?
They are, they really are. Walking around, especially Tito.
Yeah.
You walk around with Tito and that guy has everything in his head up here and he'll say, yep, there's something down here, yep, there's something over here. And I was just walking around with my maps and trying to get everything out of his head.
And going, but the map says, never mind the map.
Yeah. Yep, and I do think he was really tired. I kinda felt bad at the end of the day because we really worked him pretty hard, but it
It was
was,
good for him,
it was good.
mental,
He did file a
mentally.
complaint, no.
You just had to pay him extra.
Yeah.
So, are there any other questions?
I think you've covered it quite well.
Well, very good.
Thank you, John.
Yep, if it's okay with you, I think we're gonna,
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
yep, we'll see you.
See you
Nice
next month.
meeting you.
Yeah, Mitch.
Or in between. Next item on the agenda is the council minutes of the last meeting. Anybody have any questions regarding the council minutes in the last meeting? If not, do I hear a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Support?
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is the commission and committee reports, the Downtown Development Authority minutes.
Are there garbage cans on the corner I'm missing? Why are they complaining about the garbage cans on the corners?
They replaced one, outside of Tony's.
Okay,
There was a 1970s, and we upgraded to a recycled plastic, handles the weather, so you don't even notice it.
I
And
didn't say I didn't.
that's the point. One of the things that I didn't like is when you first come up to the light, that's the first thing you notice is a garbage can. And,
Those things where they snub out their cigarettes, those are all still down there.
we've kind of been swapping those out as well for little
Okay.
things that are less noticeable.
Okay,
Those, for some reason those are being used for extra trash cans.
are they?
Were, yeah. And again, Chris, so they were like a concrete and
They were cracking, weren't they?
right, the freezing
Yeah.
thaw was, they were actually pretty brittle when you went to, when some of them fell apart.
Okay, they're old.
Same with the benches that was there, we went to move it, pick it up, and both sides fell off, so we discussed purchasing, there's somebody interested in purchasing, kinda like the park bench.
The memorial ones, I saw.
Downtown,
Those
and
look nice.
I think that'd be nice down there, and I'm gonna keep pushing, as it said in there, push for one for Bob Burns.
Okay. I'm not sure he was the original president, but
That's what Jim says, you know?
yeah. I thought it was Bob Loomis, but
That's
I
not-
could be wrong. I doubt it.
Not here, but I don't remember.
I've never been before, huh, Chris?
He was president for a long time. I'll give him that. Oh.
Any other questions regarding the DDA minutes? Let's move on to the Planning Commission. Sorry. Can't see it. Any questions regarding the minutes of the Planning Commission from last month? If not, do I hear a motion to accept and file?
I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? Communications. You have your review magazine and a snowmobiler ORV magazine.
There was a nice article about St. Charles and the snowmobile
There sure
magazine.
was. Yep, it was really nice.
Jim did a nice job with that. And stole all my photos from Facebook.
That was a nice job too. Yeah,
All
It
Jim.
was very well written.
it was. It had to be done recently because it didn't mention the rustic at all, so.
Yeah, they were
It
closed
mentioned-
up.
Yeah, it mentioned
Yeah.
all the other places you could eat and,
Yeah, he called and, his son had rode the river the previous year, season, and he said his wife wanted to write an article, so his wife wrote an article, and he goes, would you guys write up a little bit of something? So sat down and made a list of all the places that were open right now, and I'm like, okay, you can stop here and get ice, you can stop here and eat and get gas here. So, tried.
okay, it came out very well.
Thanks.
Yes, very nice.
Eventually, we might need to do something behind, near that, public parking, maybe make it easier for them to get up and down, permanent maybe, in the future, for the snowmobiles. They use that quite often, and Tito sometimes comes in and makes sure that they can get up and down, but brings a lot of business to town in the winter.
John Gerber and I were talking about that.
Yeah, we
Whenever John
usually
calls,
push snow to try to make it
or we don't
a little
clear it.
Easier for them to
The
get up.
bank's so steep there, and then you get so much traffic, it just gets beat, pounded down, so.
They go to the other gas station too, don't they, coming up?
They can, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, they visit the gas station. It's the easiest access
To town.
is by Bears there, actually. It's
Yeah.
the easiest way to get on and off the river, so.
Moving forward, play in the park. Any comments on that? Questions?
Nice to see they're doing something out our way.
Pardon?
I said it's nice that they're gonna do something out our way.
Yeah, true.
They often do things that Ringwood.
They try to do
Yeah.
something, at least once with Ringwood.
Yep,
I haven't been out there in a long time.
they've got some nice, well, the mosquitoes
Carried
that
away.
just carry you away.
Yeah, that's probably why I haven't been out there.
It's bad enough here.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the payment of claims. Anybody have any questions regarding the financial reports?
I do.
Uh-oh.
No, the Metro Act, she's not here tonight, but what's that money supposed to be used for?
Metro Act,
Yeah,
it's, you're pretty free with that, sidewalks,
we have quite a bit of money in there. Are we supposed to be spending it?
there's no set,
You don't have to.
you don't have to, but we
Okay.
need to do something, but, trying to think of the gentleman of the Heartland. Metro Act fees. I can send you a list, I have a printout, I think I sent back in November of 19, kind of regarding what it's for. Trying to, Shay Charles, you know that name?
No.
He's on Heartland, but, and so, here it is. It's a little slow right now. To load, but, so the Metro Act funds, you can use for engineering costs related to right-of-way purposes, consulting costs, costs allocated management costs related to right-of-way purposes, public right-of-ways, blighted trees, dust control, street lights, snow removal, unimproved areas, sidewalk, bike path, non-commercial telecom facilities, signage, and equipment and trees.
Signing,
Mm-hmm.
like in replacing street signs?
Mm-hmm. Neighborhood watch signs, welcome signs, etc.
Oh, but not just the name of a street sign?
Well, we probably could. They don't really audit these. So I mean, they do, but not as strictly as other things.
Do we have a plan for the street signs?
We're kind of replacing them.
Okay,
As they
we're
go.
stopping them from going around in a circle now. I mean, I haven't seen any of them going,
Yeah, we would replace it right now like on an as-needed basis,
Okay.
and we've been trying to.
We've been
focus.
purchasing about, we're looking at another 10 stop signs and street signs to
I
replace.
don't know, Chris, if you noticed, we've kind of consolidated the stop sign and the street sign on one post, getting rid of 2 wooden posts.
No, I haven't noticed that.
Is that
You-
North
you
Street?
Go
or
down
West
Chastain Street,
Okay.
there's quite a few, and then even on North Street.
There's that-
The crooked.
That leaning sign of
Yeah.
Pisa. Um,
Yeah,
telling you.
well, they either lean or they turn.
Yeah, it was completely turned, you didn't know which way was which,
Mhm.
so we got rid of that this week, and we're kind
Okay.
of as needed, but kind of just sleek, black.
It's a lot cleaner look, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Okay.
Look really good.
It's a black post, and would be the stop sign, and the hardware for the street sign is mounted above the stop.
Okay, I'll look. I only got like one more time to go up north and then I'll be back. I'll be able to ride around and look at stuff.
Oh, no.
Check the town out.
I just have a question. What is this vendor token reimbursement?
That's for the from the farmer's market. People can come up with their EBT cards or their debit cards, and they can, get money off the card, and then they take it and spend it with the vendors, and then the vendors, at the end of the market, turn it into Shelley, and then we give them, cash, because we've already collected the money with our card machine,
Oh, okay.
either from their debit card or credit card or,
Okay.
EBT card. So we get our money up front, and then they get paid back once they give me the tokens.
Okay.
I see it's making money. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't
It's on the right side of.
Yes.
Correct.
It's on the-
Right.
Any further questions on the bills? If not, do I hear a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $402,079.48.
A second.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I bet you she spends more money in a year than anybody.
Well,
else.
I'm trying to figure out when I heard the 400,000 stuff, where's the money?
Wait a minute.
What was the big thing you paid?
So I was trying to figure out, I couldn't quite remember.
Oh, you mean, where's it come up with 400?
Where's the big,
No.
there's gotta be a biggie in here
Oh,
somewhere.
Marguerite, had to move some money out of our checking account and take it to the other banks because we were hitting that 250 level, so that's what it was. If you look on page, 3, where it says reclassify village funds,
I wondered what that was.
we were with taking in all the tax money and the,
And that counts as an
the bills.
expenditure?
The way the system is, it's moving the funds around, but it counts it in here.
Okay,
Do they still use credit unions also?
Yes, she's got a list of credit unions and banks, and she tries to
Well-
keep each one at the 250 mark, but we were just, it's the time of the year where we
we're up
collect
to
everything all at one time.
3.3. So she must have had to move some stuff around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it looks like 250,000 worth.
yeah.
That's,
Well, you know, the water funds screwed me up when I first looked at this, but then I made it come out okay in my head, so I was okay. It had to do with the moving of the money.
Yes, yep.
I actually went through and circled all of the water bills that were, anything that started with a 591, trying to get to the number sheet. Anyway, I got it straight. That's okay.
Moving on to new business. Resolution 2111 to establish an industrial development district.
So, the MEDC is putting out requests for proposal, for potential sites in our area, and they wanna know if there's any, tax abatement or industrial development district, which would allow state treasury to use that, when referencing tax abatements, so, we have to publish this. We need the resolution for the state MEDC and the state treasury. There's no timeline on how long we have to publish it, just in the local circulation. That shows the state that was the same amount of time that we would for anything else. But this starts the process of perhaps finding new suitors
And this is
For the new Thompson.
just
Network.
for the Thompson,
Correct,
nobody else in the industrial park?
correct.
Okay. Well, they're not. Never mind.
So any new applicant that might be interested in it might notice that and try to use it to their advantage while we try to welcome them.
And then on the back of it is the notice of public hearing, which we don't do anything about, right?
No, we'll put it in the circulation and then
You're
I,
just showing us what's
yep,
gonna go in.
and then
there.
I'll probably send a copy as well to the current owner, down in Troy.
Okay. Whoever they may be.
Yes.
Any further questions?
I make a motion that we pass resolution 21-11 to
Support.
establish an industrial development district.
Support, please.
I'll support.
Support by Mike, I think. Roll call?
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Christine Newman,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Michael Nesbitt,
Yes.
Kathy Harris,
Yes.
and Sarah Tiley is absent.
Setting the trick or treat hours, mostly in Sunview and Monville. What do you want?
Nothing set in stone, just the general suggestion to the general public that we always, we'd hope, for safety purposes, for children's sake, to celebrate trick or treating, Halloween.
Do we do 5 to 7 or 5:30 to 7:30?
I think it was 5:30 to
It was
7:30.
5:30.
5:30 to 7.
Okay. That last few years,
It
okay.
was, yeah.
I think some people were saying that Chesapeake 6 to 8, we're 5:30 or 7:30, so if you
think
bus Taylor here, you can get all the
Yeah.
houses and get over to Chesapeake.
I think it's been that way for a few years.
What time's our time change this year? Does that
November.
ever play a role in?
November.
Oh, it's not.
It's in November.
Okay.
Or November. It's for Sunday, isn't it? Saturday night, Sunday,
I'm sure, cause that,
November 7th.
okay.
yeah.
I think 7:30 seems like that's always been kind of a tradition.
I missed a suggestion, I didn't hear one.
No, you didn't hear anything.
On the actual day or on Saturday?
I'll make a motion, we make trick or treat hours from 5:30 to 7:30.
Second,
Support?
right here.
Aye. Oh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good luck to all the teachers on Monday, November 1st.
I'll be
Oh, yeah.
confiscating lots of candy for myself.
He'll be higher than the
They
kids.
better, I will. Hey kid, you better give me a cut. You know what's good for you.
Bring candy or.
Now we need to set old Christmas parade, old fashioned Christmas parade, and the tree lighting.
This has kind of become a village sanctioned event. And last year we did it, in the midst of COVID, we were kind of scared to do it. We did all in one shot on Saturday. I think there was too much time between the tree lighting and the parade. My idea or thought at the time was people can go to the tree lighting, go downtown, have dinner, eat, enjoy, and then go to the parade. Well, restaurants were kind of closed and carry out only, and we weren't supposed to have a gathering of more than 75 people within a 1 block radius, and we might have stretched those numbers by just a tad. So I was thinking December 11th, Saturday, with the tree lighting at 5 and the parade to start at 6:30. So there's less, not 2 hours between, but give people at least a little time to go to the tree lighting. As of right now, it looks like we might be able to do a little bit more than we were last year. Maybe have a nice petting zoo again like we did 2 years ago for the kids, and then to the parade.
And you think an hour and a half is gonna be enough for that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I recall last year a lot of people sitting around like why the heck is this not starting? And, well, I didn't know it was, everything was gonna be closed.
Starting when?
Pardon?
Starting when?
The-
I thought you said you're starting.
Oh, I just, the 6:30,
Oh.
5 to 6:30 gives them time to
Gives
to
them
grab a
like an hour
bite.
and a half
Mhm.
for the tree lighting ceremony.
I believe last year it was like 4 to 6:30 and it was just too much.
Not too much.
The one day was a lot smoother, this is my 2 cents anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day.
And a lot of people have competing, you know, now there's competing parades in Hemlock and the tree lighting over here, but you're not gonna come here one night, then go somewhere else, and come back the next night. Let's get it all done while you're here. Spend your money and your time and enjoy the parade. And we have, interest from 2 Santas already, so I'm thinking maybe we have one at the tree lighting, maybe we have one in the parade. Kids can get their picture with Santa here, and then they can see him later. Well, how did he get here that fast? He's got a sleigh. Let's go. So,
And there's the Santa chair in the back room too.
I mean, things are just falling together right now. It's gonna be beautiful. We had, I think, 12 bikes last year.
Mm-hmm.
Very generous town members, and Jenny did the shopping. We did the collections. Marie Rose offered to help again, so it should be successful.
Well, you don't need a motion for that, do you?
Kind of like Halloween, just a suggestion, treat time and date, and that way we can post it and start the process and get interest and get the trees started. And
So you're thinking December 11th at 5 and then 6:30?
um,
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Support.
Yay,
Lois?
yay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
Next item is the Spicer work order directive change. Phase 1 water system improvements.
As John mentioned, this is just a revision to, after walking with Tito and Don, and what we're going to do as far as deleting and adding on the map.
I make a motion, we accept owner's work, directive change number 2 to professional services.
Support.
Support.
Should I put for water distribution system? Doesn't really say for
I
what.
would say phase 1 water system
Yeah.
improvements, just so people know.
So if anybody looks 30 years from now, they'll know we approved that.
I'll make it look pretty.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Old business, manager's contract.
You didn't send out a copy of your contract.
I had it with the materials, it didn't make it. I can pass
Okay.
it around.
So in that contract, it's my understanding that it states that Hart gets a 2% raise just like everybody else every year. And this year, we would like to give him an increase in addition to the regular 2% raise. And I think we discussed $5,000 to his base salary. Correct. So what we really needed was this employment contract change. And it reads that we will, I have that, I just don't have a contract. It says that we will increase his pay $5,000 a year, but then he will continue on the 2% in addition to that.
Raise it this year, right?
We'll raise it in April to
Yeah,
2%, but we'll raise it as of last
Yes.
September to the $5,000.
Right.
As to the date of his, you know, when we discussed him. His, what's that called?
Evaluation.
No, his, evaluation,
Right.
as of the date
I know
of his.
what you
So as of September 8th, he will have the $5,000 increase to his base salary.
Okay.
So that's what this is.
So Chris, did you want him on this, still on the 2%? Was that what you guys were talking about?
Well,
Because
from now
we-
on, he'd be on the 2% still.
Okay,
So-
because that wasn't in when we,
No, but it's in his
Talked about-
contract.
okay,
That's why I wanted to see the contract.
It's right there if you
Okay.
pass it down. And I underlined where it's section D.
Yeah, he's supposed to get a 2% raise each year.
okay. I just want to make sure he's taken care of.
And he will still get that. But then it states here that every time we evaluate him, if we want to do something a little different, we can.
Yep.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a raise. I think it says it can be a raise or in the form of a bonus or
Yep.
whatever.
Okay.
But the 2% still stands from the contract. And he gets the 5, because we decided on a $5,000 raise. Right?
Yes.
Everybody, we would, okay.
Agree?
Your motion?
I make a motion that we pass the First Amendment to the Village of St. Charles Manager's Employment Contract.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So passed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Departmental report, DPW report, what you got, Don?
Well, basically, we're just plugging away, no major catastrophes recently anyway, but, the water, we did do the walkthrough of the whole project, that was pretty much an all day, as John said, and it was, we actually did get a lot of good information out of it, field verification, and I think we're getting pretty close. Sewer, we're basically isolating one pond ready to discharge here, probably in about a week. Streets, the routine mowing and brush pickup, and we did have that large tree last month come down on Chestnut and Maple there. It was on private property, but of course it come down on the road right away, so.
Mm-hmm.
We did remove the tree, but the stump is
Still there.
on private property, so I don't, or if it's awful close with a survey, how's that sound?
Well, I got the impression that when a tree needs to come down, the insurance company says just let it fall.
Right, yeah.
And then wherever it falls, if it falls on our side, we pick it up. If
Right,
it falls
anything
on
that
their
falls
side,
into
they'll
the
pay
right
for
way,
it.
we take care.
But the stump doesn't move, so it's still their responsibility.
The lighting at the Goodrich Building, I don't know if Hartwood, if it was in their minutes or not, is complete.
You said they were very happy with it.
Yeah.
You also said, back to the DDA minutes, mostly fixed the backyard, the back,
Yeah, we have all that
but
rain.
mostly fixed, does that mean it's still leaking?
It hasn't haven't had any leaks yet, and so I'm not convinced it's completely.
It's an intermittent issue. and it
Yeah.
doesn't-
Okay.
Um,
Well, as I read it, cause you had told me that it fixed it, and then I read that thing and I
So-
thought, mostly fixed? That's not quite fixed.
We haven't had the driving rain into that side just yet. We've
Okay.
had rain, 4 days.
So we had
straight.
rain,
We've had rain, but nothing got in, so
Okay.
fingers crossed that
okay,
this is it, and that would be tremendous.
well, that just made me think of it again.
Yeah.
when I read that.
Well, cause I'm waiting for like the real torrential and all of a sudden it's a flood again and it's not fixed, so, okay, now we have to take off the siding and really go after everything.
Okay. And this, Don, tower and meter pit lost communication cell tower issue, is that fixed?
It's fixed now.
Okay,
Yeah, whenever that happens.
it's not good to not hear from the tower when,
Well, it lets us know that it's not talking, and then we have to go to manual operation.
okay,
It's always at about 1:30 AM for Don.
It's never during the day.
Can we blame that on the cell service?
It actually is an AT&T issue with that tower.
okay.
The-
They need to do something with that tower here in town.
Well, this
It's
is the
getting
water
all over
tower.
Facebook and everything else, how poor
But it is the AT&T
Cell
tower,
services.
Chris, that's
Is
the
it,
issue.
that's, oh, okay,
And the tower itself communicates usually okay because it's far enough away, it can pick up another tower. But the meter pit is right under that tower, so it can't,
it doesn't go anywhere
it
else.
can't pick up another tower, so it's usually the pit that goes down. We have
Okay.
an issue with that tower.
We've been trying to convince them for quite a while that there's a problem with that tower. Oh no, our tower is working fine. I've had their own engineers have been out here, and they've directed all the power out over the swamp. You know, there's not a deer or a goose out there with a cell phone.
Well, there was, I think it was 6 months to a year ago, we were out for like 2 full days and we were thinking it was our radio equipment, come to find out it was that tower was actually down for 2 days.
Yeah, it's been down a lot.
And there was no AT&T, we don't have AT&T, so we don't know, but.
Yeah.
And it's, when it was out, we were 2 full days running this thing all on manual control, and that's no fun to do that, so.
No.
But that's good.
Used to be done though.
So, but, yeah, come to find out, I guess a mouse chewed a wire in the towers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were scrambling all over town trying to figure out what was going on, but, yeah.
Most of our service over around here goes through the one down at 52 and 57. It don't go through this one.
For some reason, the tower is just far enough out away from this one, it will get.
You got
service,
52 and
it'll get
57.
service from another town, so. Yeah, and we're starting to get equipment ready for snow season, and we did call it, doesn't look like we'll be receiving a new truck anytime soon, right?
Are we gonna, you mean we gotta take our antique back out of,
We'll make it work. We'll get by.
storage and,
But it's never.
Put it back to work, eh?
We'll make it work, so you shouldn't notice a level in service.
if you're as lucky as last year, there wasn't that much snow anyway.
Yeah, 1 month, that was about it. But, no, we do have other things we can use, the alternative vehicles.
So it's just not coming because they don't have any?
The parts in their backlog and just like everything else.
Okay.
It's not, figured that, was a month ago we called Harts and just kinda wondering where it's at. Oh, that looks like that's been pushed back again, probably February, April, the chassis to be built, so. It's the time we live in, I guess, so.
I thought the price of fuel's going up this year, so you'll have to leave the snow lay a little longer.
Oh,
I wouldn't do that.
I don't think we do that, we'll be hung up.
That's not a good idea.
I thought that would get a raise.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. Other than that, actually, I mean, it's warm out, but we're starting to get ready for winter and Christmas, so.
They've been, I'd say they've been busy with parks too. We have the concert this weekend and, a big deal and getting barricades out for the haunted house and moving things around and making sure the park looks really nice for this weekend. So I thank Don, Terry Brown for his work on the mower, this year, and they've been moving.
He's learned to mow very fast because I watched him mow his own yard yesterday and I said to Bill, come look at this. This is what Terry learns by mowing the park. I mean, he was just like this in the backyard going around.
He's efficient.
He was doing that before when he was doing,
Was he?
chiropractors.
He didn't used to mow his backyard that way, but yeah.
Well, it's been nice having that grass cutter this year, it's helped us out a lot, so.
Good, so now we have 4 people and a mower.
Well, yeah, he's soon to be done, yeah.
We don't have a 4th person?
No, the grass.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, no, we do.
okay. So you're all set.
We've got enough to
Well,
work
you're
with.
all set.
You're volunteer more help. maybe
No,
we
no,
can.
no.
I'm sure more.
And,
No, I don't wanna mow. Do you wanna mow? No.
it's not as fun as you think it is.
No.
Maybe one time, the second time you won't like it. That's all I have. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? Or?
Good job.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
job.
That corner of Flint and Saginaw Street looks really nice.
Way better, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. It
Yeah,
was an eyesore for way too long.
it did block the vision. It was a heck of a sight block. You didn't realize it was that bad. And opened it right up and it looks good. That, Chris, is where we did put the new combinations out.
Okay, down there.
So,
Well, the people that bought T-Dot's house on the corner of Woodlawn and,
Bishop, but
no, Bristol, they cut that tree up they had that big pine tree on the corner and you couldn't see the left at all. Not that many cars came that way, but that's really nice to have that open up there too. That was their tree and they trimmed it up.
If there's nothing further with the DPW report, let's move on to the police department report. Art Reynolds, step in if you got any questions.
I'll certainly try.
Well, under employment, we are looking to hire another officer. Does she mean part-time officer or full-time officer?
Part-time.
Okay,
We've
Because then-
we've posted, but nothing, so.
okay. Then I see that, Officer Thompson and his wife have purchased a home close to the village. Should we look at him as a full-time employee next year?
He is a full-time employee.
Already.
Oh,
Him and her, and that's it.
well, who's the third?
Just two.
We don't,
There's
there's
just
just two.
Julie and Ethan.
So,
Okay,
and we,
The third one would be the part-timer.
We've got a lot of hours without anybody on,
yeah, we do. Well, I've noticed that in the thing,
a
but,
lot of hours. We're scared had anyone fine.
that's the hardest thing to do and find right now.
Is there an academy going on at Delta right now?
There's academies, we put them in MCOs, we put them in the state.
Okay. Yeah, I guess everybody's hurting. Everybody's, my ex-son-in-law's up in Clare and I call him pretend a cop, you know. They use him for traffic and stuff like that. He said he's working all the time there, So they just can't get anybody either. I think that's where we got Ethan from.
He keeps saying he wants to come back. He said, he keeps saying he wants to come back.
who does? Oh, no.
Yeah, he's always saying to me, Kathy, let's go back. It's like, I'm too old. I can't do that stuff anymore.
I saw him in the drugstore last week.
He just
That
got-
would be a no.
He just got over COVID.
Yeah, he just got over COVID.
Yeah.
He's looking old.
I didn't know him.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I did not know him.
Yeah, he-
He had a hat on, but I didn't know him.
Getting older.
I tell him that all the time.
Yeah. He's living in town though.
Nothing further on that. How about the building inspector?
Scott
Code
Cole, he
enforcement.
apologizes for not being here, he had a family engagement. We spoke this morning, kind of in length about everything. Everything, as you can see on, I guess it'd be the complaint log. We have a few calls coming up with Gary Campbell on how best to approach these, and we're gonna go to court. That said, we did go over to Flint Street today and have a conversation at 6:32. I thought it was productive. He asked a lot about fencing options and what he can do, and we mentioned that nobody wants to see this. Clean it up. And, you know, I say he took it to heart, but I probably just took the information, so. But we let him know that we are pursuing this, and we will see you in court if things do not change very quickly. Scott did say it looked better than the previous time he was over there, so he was encouraged, but it's still
That must have
not
happened-
great.
That must have happened recently, because last time I was around
Yeah.
It was actually between this morning and about 10:30. He did a
I was
little
gonna say, I
work,
went by last Friday and it was,
so it's like he knew we were coming.
Yeah.
But
Somebody had chickens?
that's correct.
I think they were left over from Easter.
yeah,
Yeah.
or for next week's.
That could be.
And people are still doing a little bit of building work.
That should take care of that. Let's move on. Any public comments?
I would add that we received 0 bids on the Brant Road property, but we have 2 bids in on Tahoe that closes on Friday, so that's encouraging, I think.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people have been kicking the tires on it, out looking and trying to figure it out. A lot of questions. And then you tell them it needs a new motor and most of them, okay, I'm good.
Change your mind a bit, huh?
I would like to readdress this lady's concern about,
So, as far as the signage, they asked if they could put some mums out there and, hay bales, I said sure. They asked for mulch, I said sure. Didn't know they were gonna remove perennials by any means, but
I didn't realize, I guess I must never paid attention, I didn't realize there were perennials out there.
the interesting part is I've received several comments and positive on how nice it looks, so it's a double-edged sword.
Well, it is, but perennials always have a time of year where they look like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, I mean, we'll go out and investigate
what were
tomorrow
they,
and
Terry, the perennials?
The class of 1980 put them in when the school didn't have beautification day because of COVID. So they put them in, and I don't remember what he had. I know they're annuals, but they're also perennials. You thought there were 2 rose bushes in there too, so I don't know.
Oh, I didn't
I'd
ever
be-
see roses in there.
I'd be happy to work with John Dusick and of course, the beautification day committee and,
Get some of those back?
yeah, get next year, replant and start over. Post-COVID, you know, maybe, you said it was 1980 they planted and, or they didn't have it in
It
80?
was the class of 1980
And
that planted them because they didn't have kids working.
last year,
2 years ago.
okay.
2019, or 20, I mean.
Gotcha.
I think the hometown days, they didn't know what they were dealing with, but they had good,
I suspect
they had good intentions.
they
I mean,
didn't know what they were. and
We had somebody interested in actually taking better care of that and helping us, so, I mean, Hart, I think, is working, we're trying to get someone to kind of take over that area and help us a little bit with the maintenance, cause it definitely needed something, I think, we all agreed on that.
Well, the mulch looked good in the center islands, I saw it.
Yes, they did.
Well, we
Yeah.
intended to mulch that too, but we got rained out before we.
Okay.
But that is our intention to mulch that too.
I did like the red flowers, but those are all gone now too.
Replaced with mums or in the boulevards?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, the big red
The
ones
pots,
that came back every
they're
year.
gonna change those seasonally, the pots at least.
That's okay, I don't wanna do it, so I'm not gonna, but they looked nice, I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did look nice, I think we had some lack of communication with the watering. Someone kinda had a family emergency come up and they didn't tell anybody, they quit watering them,
Okay,
so.
Dan, I thought Allison Brady told me that the DPW was gonna put some rocks or something in there in front of the sign?
We were talking about it, but I don't.
Okay.
that was not approved by me.
Oh, okay, okay, I didn't know, I just,
Hearts, we're trying to, Hearts, the spearhead behind us trying to get it.
well, I definitely would rather see plants in there than rocks, but,
That whole area needs some attention.
yeah, cause
And
after you put in rocks, then you get the weeds.
Yep, and then you have to spray them, and that whole area is, like I said, it's kind of a focal point. So that's why I'm looking at a new bench. I've got the new garbage bin there that you're not supposed to notice, and really spruce up that area so that when you stop at the light and you look at the electric sign, this is what you see. You got the new signage, like
And the bike looks nice.
let's wow people.
yeah, it does.
It's too bad you can't get Mr. Fields from the corner to take care of every corner in this town, because his just glows. This is-
And we're working with John Dusick on maybe some potential solutions in the future about composting what we get at the drop-off, and he's in class, I think, online through Oregon State, and it's something that he's studying, and he wants to have a greater part in this, and what better person? So I think we're gonna have him work on some of the curbs and the electrical sign and kind of really bring it to life, and, you know, he's got all kinds of ideas, and sometimes needs to be reined in a little bit,
Yep.
but, if you've met John, you know he loves plants, he loves flowers, he has an eye for those things, and he's a passion for it, truly, so I think it'll look nice whenever we
Well,
figure out what we're doing, or
I was
who's
gonna
doing
say,
what.
Terry's yard is always gorgeous too, aren't you a master gardener?
That's dissolved now.
Okay.
But yes, I was.
Yeah,
Woodlawn looks the best in town.
it does. I
And
agree.
that's because of Bud Fields and Mary Lenhart.
Yes,
They
on the
do.
ends there, and
Yes,
they do a beautiful job.
yes.
We need more volunteers like
Yes.
those people to.
That actually take care of it. Well, it's part of his his yard.
Yeah, oh,
I mean, it's beautiful, so
That's a lot of work.
it is a
It
lot of
doesn't
work.
come easy, it's a very lot of work.
My husband has a green thumb, I'll tell you, I can't grow anything to save my life, but he sure can.
I can't either. If you can't live without water, it's not
Plastic
living
ones
with
and make
me.
them brown.
Yeah.
That's a good line, I'm gonna steal that.
Okay,
So we're gonna work on this, Terry, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, appreciate it.
My son noticed them doing this. I said, why didn't you say anything? He said it wasn't mine.
Oh, not his to say, right? Not his place to say anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder if Allison realized they were perennials.
Probably they don't.
Probably
You know,
not.
they didn't know, I don't think.
I think
Probably
they-
thought they were season, or
they had good
annuals, and
intentions,
it was
I-
time,
they-
was my guess. They probably thought they were annuals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clean it up, make it look good for the fall.
They did a nice job decorating the downtown for the hometown days. That was-
Hometown days went really well,
Mhm.
went really well. I think next year they shouldn't have the, food trucks right there at the intersection though. I think they need to have those in a different spot.
Down a little bit, past the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking next year, we had a little bit of I was on the committee for that, and, had a little small car show this weekend. It went over, actually, when I say it was small because it was last minute, so we only had like 12 cars, but we had a boat that was made by Aerocraft here in St. Charles. And they're talking about making it bigger, a little bigger next year.
Move it down that way around the corner.
No, we're talking like maybe, well, you know, of course, this is just ideas that
Mhm.
a couple of the guys that sort of helped me with it suggested was maybe putting the cars like in front of where Tony's, part of the boulevard where Tony's is, and then maybe bringing them around in front of Frank's.
That corner.
And then if needed, maybe use Frank's parking lot too. I think if we get it advertised enough, it would be bigger.
The far end.
Closest to
Yeah, it's-
Saginaw.
it'd be like Saginaw and then part of East Bell, that's what they're thinking.
Okay.
Close it off going straight through the light. Yeah.
Just some ideas that we had, you know, and,
I think a car show would do very well here.
it did,
That's something,
before.
that's something I thought about. I know you guys who've started them in the past, that I was gonna be next year.
And I told Allison, I said, I'd like to see this hometown days stay downtown. You know, we do a lot at the park, and that's great, the park's big enough, and if it gets big enough, maybe someday we might have to move it to the park, but for now, I'd like to see it stay right downtown.
Did you happen to mention that you would like to be on the park committee?
Oh, I haven't said any more about that, no.
Cause I believe there's an opening.
I believe there is, last I knew there was.
I know there is.
Yeah.
Kathy, I don't know, did you know there's a car show in Shields too that same time?
Yes, there was, yes. But I think a lot of it had to do too with the fact that it was last minute,
Yeah.
the car show thing, so.
And
Because
sometimes timing of those, if a lot of people, you know, they'll go from the Conservation Club to Chesaning and Frankenmuth
Well-
in a day, depending on the times.
And something else they talked about doing was maybe do like a car cruise like Chesaning does. That goes over really well in
I bet that
Chesaning.
would, yes, I bet that
And,
would go
and
well.
you do it on the opposite night that Chesaning does it. And, that was mentioned too. I think they would bring in, they're talking the car show, one of the guys that was there said, if there's nothing for my wife to do, she doesn't go with me. So that's why we'd like to tie the car show in with the downtown hometown days, because then she can shop, and do what she wants to do, and then he can enjoy his cars. So, it's another way to bring maybe more vendors in, and then more people too, so. I thought it went over really well this year.
So-
Allison and Carrie did a great job organizing it, did a great job.
Well, that's what you want, is interest from younger people
Absolutely.
in the downtown.
I asked her how she got started with this, I said, I just remember last year going, I said, how'd you get this all started? And she said, when she opened up her shop over there on, Clinton Street there, she said, she was gonna do a grand opening, and she thought she'd bring in just a couple of vendors to put out in front of her building, and she said somehow word got around to other vendors, and next thing she knows, everybody's calling and saying, hey, I wanna do it too, and so I said, it was interesting how that came about, So, worked out well. I would like to maybe see down the road too, since it's St. Charles Hometown Days, maybe getting some antique, maybe farming equipment or that antique type stuff.
And
And
so
to-
I'd like to tie in the farmer's market, maybe that's the last market of the year.
Oh, yeah, that too, that would be a
Get
good idea
vegetables
too.
and vendors like that downtown, so when people are shopping, they can
Mhm.
help both out.
Yeah, I'm looking for squash now and they're closed.
Yeah, I think that would go over really well and bring a lot of people, a lot
Good
more
idea.
people.
Mhm. Yep. Allison says she's open for ideas, so
She'll get mine.
they did a great job.
How about the concert this weekend?
So, we are putting together last minute, I never thought I'd plan a concert, and I don't think Sam did either, and we're kind of going through our punch list of, have you thought about, no. Well, we need to think about parking, we need to think about bathrooms, we haven't, he's like, yeah, I was gonna get with you this week, I'm like, well, the concert's this weekend, we need to figure this out.
You
So
better-
this week's been kind of stressful, truth be told, I think we've sold over 320 tickets.
Cool.
The goal is 300, so.
You better work on those.
Yeah, so we're moving some Porter Johns, I might make a call tomorrow. Working on parking, his dad's place that they're kind of renovating, they're gonna do some VIP parking there. I think that's 20 cars, I think we can get 140 into the park. So we're thinking about talking to the alley, like, charge people $5, make yourself some money, $10, make yourself some money. Dr. Gonzalez as well, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and it's one of those things where we look at each other like, never thought I'd be doing this.
Yeah.
I like music, but I never thought I'd be in the middle of planning it and getting the stage and.
I'm more the high school band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I live close, so I'm walking.
we have to get a silent generator, and so he said, well, Hart, do you mind? And I said, I don't mind. I don't mind helping out, whatever I can do. Then he gives me the price. I'm like, let me know. We can split this somehow. Get me on a payment plan or something. But apparently you can put this generator right next to the stage and you wouldn't even hear it. So, and it has the wattage that they need for the stage and everything. So we're getting there, and it's starting. I'm looking at Don like, are we ready for this? He's like, you haven't told me everything we need done yet. I'm like, well, it's gonna be a fun week. Yeah, we're gonna wing it. So the best thing you can say. That's what we're doing. Sam, what about this? What about that? Yeah, I didn't think about that, Hart. Oh yeah, I meant to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's plan this concert and do it.
Yeah.
So
You don't know what you don't know.
yeah, right, until you do it. So 320 tickets.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
It is.
And then you throw in, alcohol, and like, okay, we gotta close this out, we have to block this out, but we have to let them get the stage in first, and then we gotta barricade that, and So it's gonna be a fun Saturday.
If it's a success, it's gonna have to be
One way or
St.
the
Charles concert series.
Yeah.
There you go.
Start booking.
Hey, Mr. Wiki, we're switching to just bands.
Yeah.
Kind of like the concert in the park for the Lions Club. This is what I'm looking for.
Could be the new showboat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh boy.
He just cringed.
They could maybe do a shuttle down to the high school.
Well, the high school, well, maybe. I mean, then there's a fundraiser for football
Oh, yeah,
at the
that,
Brant and
Mhm.
Brant. So I'm like, are they coming here to go in there? Are they going here to come in there? Where are they gonna park? What time? And I think that goes till 6. And I'm like, well, it's gonna be a fun day.
What time are you going to, open the doors down there?
It's opens at 5.
Uh-huh.
We're hoping to start trickling people in about 4:30, just
I'll
for
be over
security's
about
sake.
4 o'clock then.
Okay. Get in before you block it off.
Yeah, yeah, I got
Every ticket's
parking.
free if you get there first. Before they block it off.
Might put you to work.
They might.
if there's anything I can help with, Carl, let me know.
Oh, security,
So your
you just signed
motion to
yourself
adjourn.
up.
Man one of the barricades so they don't drive all over.
Well, put me close to the band then, so I can hear it.
Yeah, we can do that. I think the whole town's gonna hear it. Another
Oh, that's
fear.
fine, yeah.
But-
Chris could sit in her backyard and listen
Yeah.
to-
Yep, yep.
Except I'm not gonna be here, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But Lori's even closer.
Oh, okay.
Diane gets a free concert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come sit on my deck. And Walker's knocking on my sliding door all the time. Can we use your bathroom? No.
Yeah, that, how could you do that?
Well, there are people I know. but
Oh.
Yeah.
Bucks a foot.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah. You just put a big sign up there that says no bathroom.
Yeah.
Or you could put a price.
Oh, wow, a price.
You need a nice porta potty, send them over.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
I will add that lastly, we do have our dry run for the Safe Routes to School this Friday. Happened quickly. I've been meeting with, the ISD and we're gonna came together on Tuesday. We're gonna do a dry run with 450 kids, drop them off at the park after they go to school and get their breakfast. And 6th graders and their pre-K buddies are gonna walk. We do have adult chaperones. But the 6th graders will do their safety patrol route and have 7 different spots, and then the 5th graders and the 1st graders and the 4th graders and 3rd graders buddy system. Setting it up for the big fiesta on Halloween, the 29th, Friday, so that the kids can wear their Halloween costumes to school and do the parade on the walk to school rather than being a distraction while in school. So that's the one that if Friday goes well, we're gonna call WNEM. We're gonna take a lot of photos. We're gonna use this as our piggyback off the $10,000 grant to really go after the $100,000 grant and replace. We're looking at all the sidewalk on Maple right now,
Okay.
the entire route. So it's a little nerve-wracking to throw it in front of the concert to have 450 kids going down.
But the concert, they won't be there yet.
No, down 52 the day before, but it's the dry run, and hopefully it goes smoothly. And if not, we'll learn, and in 2 weeks we'll do it again. So it'll be big, hopefully.
So it's like a drill?
Yeah, we're gonna get them used to dropping them off, and this is where you go. This is where we're meeting, and this is the route. So, but I'll throw 450 kids, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. You don't know what's gonna happen. So, but we're gonna put a police car kind of up by Diane's house, lights on, slow people down coming through town early in the morning because they can go 50 through here, and have Julie out on there, and the ISD's bringing Josh is bringing all 8 of his employees, and we're gonna be visible and try to make this a nice thing to get that big grant.
Okay.
So if you see a lot of commotion, that's what's going on.
I can't believe how fast they come into town, and when they cross from that rail trail to Sunview, or that crossing, oh, it's scary.
You mean the ones that try to run across in front of the
Yeah,
cars?
they're on skateboards.
Oh,
Yeah, that,
there's
I don't
a,
know how many of you guys seen this
there's
kid with
one
a
kid.
skateboard
Oh.
that rides down the
Black
Oh.
hood.
with the dark clothing right down the turn lane of 52 on an electric skateboard.
I just cringe.
I've
I
seen
can't
him.
believe there's not been a fatality.
Yeah,
I
'cause I
know.
thought I thought I
Every
hit
day
it.
you
Whoa,
see
scared to be
that.
heavy.
He's got a
Yeah,
hood over it so he can't see sideways either.
yeah.
He's got- He
I,
rides right down the turn lane of 52,
Wow.
cause the sidewalk's not smooth enough.
Speaking of that, I went to the post office. You fixed that. There was a sidewalk that had quite a bump to it. They caulked it or fixed it or whatever. That was nice. Those bricks are hard to walk on anyway. And when they move around, it's tricky.
Yeah, the texture isn't good generally anyway for,
Wet.
Yeah.
snow,
For-
ice.
oh, yeah.
That was bad, that was a bad idea.
I mean, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
It did, and it looks
did,
pretty,
and it
but
looked really
It
nice.
looks nice.
you can't walk on it.
But you're younger then. When you're
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
you're kind of tipsy.
I can't imagine anybody
Anything
going
tips
down
me.
there in high heels and trying to get someplace.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you got a point there.
You don't wear your high heels? to
No, I
talk?
don't wear them anymore. Never did.
Anyway, the sidewalk's a lot better.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
And you're gonna fix the one in front of,
Oh,
Tony's again, you
Uh,
said.
We're trying to get a bid right now, everybody's so busy.
Yeah, I was with Jim Delamise there when he went down. It was awful.
I think there's a crack too in front of Bad River,
Is there-
right by the corner of the building, in the cement, or in the bricks.
Cause you know Bob Loomis fell there too.
It was bad.
Can you shave it off? Can you,
I don't know. I'll have to look at it, but
It's the diamond grinder.
it's hard to get the right angle to do something.
so he got hurt going down.
Yeah, I tried to make him go to the hospital and he wouldn't go. I called him that afternoon because I thought he for sure had a concussion.
Yeah,
That is quite a gap there.
Yeah.
and that, like you said, the sidewalk anyway, you got a lot, just the texture of it. It's not easy to navigate without it either, so.
Well, they got money, maybe they should look at fixing that.
That would be a good idea.
Well, shortly after that was all done, cause everybody was doing that. Somebody came up with the wise idea of putting a sidewalk in and then just putting bricks along the edge to make it look kinda pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Such a better idea than walking on those pavers.
But if you're
Cause
gonna
those
have
are
to
all
cross
stamped
that
in
street-
there.
If you're gonna cross that street, then you're gonna go from cement to
But they were bricks even with the sidewalk,
oh,
flat.
they'd stay
They were real
there.
bricks, yeah.
Yeah, but they,
True pavers are smoother than that sidewalk.
Yeah, that's a stamped thing, where they put the cement down and then put that form over the
yeah,
top.
yeah, but aren't they gonna, I mean, aren't the bricks gonna, when they freeze and thaw, aren't they gonna move?
We're not gonna do that now.
No,
No, but I mean, wouldn't they?
If they put the
They
right
didn't.
the right base on there, no,
they don't in
They stay right
Tawas,
there.
they don't
if
budge.
you got the right drainage under it, it won't do that. If they put-
They also water their plants from on top.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Beautiful lush plants,
oh, yeah.
nobody has to water them.
Frank can move too, theirs are just gorgeous. Well, you know, Chesney's got them great big pots on every corner. And I think that the business that's on that corner fills them. I
Oh,
mean,
well, the
they're about
businesses-
that high, you know?
Businesses in Tawas, they do their own,
Well, yeah,
they remove their own leaves, Tawas doesn't do anything, the DPW. Those owners do all that stuff.
wow.
They're out there with little brooms in the morning, sweeping.
It's nice to be kept up. But
It
they're a
is.
tourist town too, you know?
Oh,
they gotta-
absolutely.
They gotta keep up.
They have a DDA, yep.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want your business
I mean, they themselves have
to
police
look nice.
themselves to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
good.
I hear a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
to adjourn.
I'll support.
Feel free to sit and talk.
All
Support,
those in favor?
all those in favor,
Night.
have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.